Ron G Morning Show, Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WSAN Radio.
Yeah, see me.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Man, it has been a morning, Coach K. I've been bragging about you and telling everybody what to expect out of you and said, you don't only get a trainer. You just don't get a trainer. You get somebody that's going to be in your face and make sure you're doing everything right.
I mean, what other way is there to be? I'm just saying. Like...
No, there isn't. There isn't. I agree with you. But I was bragging Monday morning on how I got there and set up everything for your third annual wellness. And I was sitting there and waiting to get in. I called you and you said, okay. But here I am. I'm always early. But it clearly states in the email 8:30. Why did my butt show up at 8 o'clock?
Because you was just so eager to get there and give the people what they needed, Ron.
Yeah, and I get there, we set up and everything going. It was some obstacles that was thrown towards Coach K way. But that girl, she went in and rolled with the punches. She was bobbing, she was weaving. Not one punch landed on her because she was too busy focused getting things together. And that's why I like, some people turn around when something goes crazy, even how little it is, they go berserk. But not Coach K. That you haven't landed a punch on me and you're not going to land one on me. So anyway, without further ado, here's Coach K. Good morning, young lady.
Good morning, Ron G. That's my man's in them, Ron G, man. Let me tell you. Y'all, I want to just open out the gate and say thank you for everyone who attended, who participated, who shared the post, because my man Ron G, WSAN Radio, was pumping it up, and I appreciate that, my brother. I do. I feel like the people who were in the room were the people who needed to be in the room. You're right. Yes, it was, a few things that just kind of didn't go as planned, but that is to be expected. Like you said, we everyone who was able to participate did, and that's what I got. So big shout out to Ron G, because you know why, y'all? Can you hear me in the back? You could.
That's true.
Yeah.
And one point I liked when I don't know, we just feeding off each other. And you would talk, you say, hit it, DJ, and I had a record already ready to spin. Somebody said, did y'all plan that? I said, no, but you don't know Coach K. I got to be ready.
Well, just being honest, I grew up with DJs, my ex-husband DJ'd, my son still DJs. I know how to mix the ones and twos, honey. Let me tell you, I know what it takes. So you're right. You're supposed to be right on cue, as you was, Ron G, on it.
I'm going to record it the way you say Ron G.
You know what, Ron? Like you said, I was telling a client of mine that this was the first time that I feel like I really needed to be in the room for myself. There was great topics and questions thrown out there, wasn't it? It was a good conversation, I think, on every panel. Even the people who were in the audience that contributed to the conversations with their just being truly transparent, and offering just their own private, stories and so forth to, help someone else out. It was really, like you said, it's what I look for. That's what I look for. I look for, the conversations to be started, maybe a resource to know where to pick up the conversation. Maybe if you could walk out the room with an answer, that's what I strive for. Get the people what they want without, the Google and the web and the rabbit holes.
You know what I liked about it? It started off interactive. People are not afraid to ask questions. People wasn't even afraid to tell about their own experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you
Mm-hmm.
see your own experience, they may be helping somebody out in the room that's going through something similar and have somebody else open up or make them open up and get rid of that burden that's been bothering them all this time. But
Right.
the biggest discussion, it was two of them. One,
Okay. What
one,
what you got? Because I know at some points I want to make sure I that the people in this audience, in case they wasn't there, that they caught. So what you tell me what you got?
the first one was the second panel.
Okay. Second panel was the mental health.
That could have went on for 3 hours and we still couldn't conquer everything. But it was so how interactive and people were saying what was going on. And one lady brought up something about her child. And
Mm-hmm.
that was deep right there. You know, people opened up and was saying things that they needed to say. Like you said, I was meant to be there because I learned some things there. And to jump to the next one, and I'll let you finish, but the next one is when they talked about type 2 diabetes. Now, you know, that hit a nerve for me because I have that. But how open people was and the panel was letting everybody know what was going on. It was some real talk in there Saturday, Coach K.
Well, but look, that's what I hope that you come for is that real talk. We ain't got time for that fake stuff. No fake friends. No, we ain't got time for that. But you're right. To comment on the mental health panel, that is why the mental health panel inspired the brain health fair. So, just being honest, when I began this event back in 23, so when I was planning in 22, I was planning for a single event. And a friend of mine, she said, no, it needs to be a series. And I was like, I don't know. But then I did the first event, the first Get Fit Wellness Fair. And you are right. That mental health panel blows my time every time because it is now a conversation. 10 years ago, your comment about how you were surprised that people asked questions and opened up and being interactive. Come on. That wouldn't have happened 10 years ago.
Right.
That wouldn't have happened. We're now we talk about things. Now we are okay with, hey, you know what? I'm not okay. And that's okay. We wouldn't admit that 10 years ago. I know I wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have. And I've been in therapy off and on all my life from my teenage years. So I still, like you said, it wasn't necessarily a thing. It wasn't something I was going around telling people, yeah, see somebody. No. So the mental health panel, like you said, usually is quite popular. Now, the first panel was our general health panel. And on that general health panel, we had a dentist, we had a active OBGYN, we had a dialysis RN, and we also had another women's health RN. So I know, look, the conversation got a little interesting with the women's health. Uh, I think some of the brothers in the room were like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be hearing this.
I don't know, but when she brought out that tool, I said, oh my God. I looked and I was interested. I said, can I buy that?
Well, guys, what he's talking about, like you said, there was a lot of great information given
Yeah.
out this past weekend. And on that general health panel, we did have, like you said, two professionals in the women's health field. And one of them is actively practicing. And she spoke on some things to help my we'll say our menopausal ladies and things. So if that is, we're not going to get into that on this particular show.
Yeah.
However, if you are suffering from, because she spoke about some things that menopausal women go through, like, vaginal dryness and, irritability and so forth. So she had some suggestions on how to help that. And I mean, just being honest, I mean, I'm a little young, but I'm already, and a woman of a certain age, you know what I mean? So, but also I want to talk about the dialysis nurse. And she made a comment that I hope that people heard. And she said, by the time you get to me, she said, it's already bad. Because that is her profession, is dialysis, right?
Right.
So that's past taking a pill, changing your diet, right? I really think that it needs to be understood that diabetes and hypertension, which they did say go together, right? They go together. They usually go hand in hand. And that usually is because it is your diet and your lifestyle that puts you in that position, right?
Right.
We really need to be mindful of what we are, what we're doing, what we're putting into our bodies. Like you said, what one of the coach G, I believe she said when we were talking about this is jumping to the fitness and nutrition panel, but she said something like, "What are you learning?" We were talking about eating the Ozempic and so forth, and doing the fast or whatever. She was like, what are you learning? Like, what habits are you building?
Right.
And I think that I'm sorry, my allergies are kicking my butt. I'm like, I feel all this drainage. But anyway, sorry. But what we don't focus on is a lot of times we're in control of avoiding these things by just controlling your food and what you put in your body, and like you said, as far as just your lifestyles, what you do with your body.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that general health panel, when she said, by the time you get to me, it's bad, I hope that, like you said, that is understood, that because you could have prevented it. You could have done something about it, and you're choosing not to. Yeah. So that part, I really think that was great to be said. Also, something that I didn't know, Ron, I don't know if you knew it, but I didn't know. The dentist. So Dr. Cheryl Davis was our dentist that we have. And she is, if you are in the San Antonio area, she's over on the east side there. Visit her. Her contact information is something that's floating around here. It'll all be out if it's out somewhere. But anyways, she mentioned that Black men's teeth are different, and like how you pull them and stuff. You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Longer roots.
On. I did not know that. News to me. So that was interesting. However, I want to say that I asked Dr. Davis to sit on the panel because I am an advocate. Like, it's one thing, yes, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little, take me a minute. I'm one of them people, I damn near need to be dying before I really go to the doctors. I'm not going to lie. However, you know what I don't mess with? My teeth. I want to leave this earth with all my own teeth. That is my goal. That is what I want. And one thing that I realize is, by going to the dentist regularly, That's my first indication usually when something is wrong.
Yeah.
They take your blood pressure, you know, they're in your mouth, your teeth, your mouth, your oral health usually can show if there's other problems or, you know, there is some indicators. So that is why I had her on there. But again, that little side note, didn't know that about, you know, the difference in teeth. So
I
that was
could
it.
I could chime in on that because I think I
Okay.
told you I've been going through some process with my teeth. They've been hurting. And so they found the cause of it. And when she said about the root, the tooth is hard to get out, they had to pull this one because it was cracked and it was painful. And he turned around, I still felt it. After he numbed it, Coach
Mm.
K, I swear he pulled out a needle longer than my arm. He stuck that needle up in there, and I swear he was scratching my brain.
Shut your
And then
mouth.
when all that was said and done, I'm sitting down there. I was in a chair for 2.5 hours getting things done. And then the next thing I know, he's whistling, just having a good time. Da, 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 da. He whistling. I'm looking at him. I say, you know, I'm in pain right here, right? So he goes to all the process and everything. Then he gets up. And I said, did you pull it? Oh, yeah, it been out. I didn't even feel it. But he said, I had a root on there that was, as what the dentist said. He said, I'd never seen a root like this before. So maybe he never had a black man in his chair pulling his tooth. I don't know. But she's right because your teeth dictates your health too. And a lot of people don't realize that your teeth can trigger things from heart attacks to strokes because everything goes with that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that years ago, I've been going to the dentist every 6 months, getting cleaning, getting all this done. I get all that done.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you
They
know,
love me. They love me at mine. You tell me. I look. I've never. And I said never had a cavity. So then. I didn't realize evidently maybe a year or so ago it was like a little one or something, and I remember them saying that, and I was like, okay, what do I need to do? And I didn't hear about it anymore. So, and you know, that's just because I know that if I take care of my teeth, 9 times out of 10, you know, everything, you know, it will go all right if I look after my teeth and my diet, my teeth and my diet.
because you know,
Um,
if you got pain in your mouth all the time, your blood pressure gonna be up.
oh yeah. Well, just pain in general, you
Yeah.
know, pain in general. People who are in pain, you know, and that's one of the things that in November at the Brain Health Fair, that one of the categories, like you said, because mental health, we really can explore it, you know, and such wide, you know, categories, but pain and like, you know, pain can cause, you know, like you said, it can cause issues. Yes, your blood pressure can, you know, like be spiked, but also like you said, if you're constantly in pain, you're not necessarily always in the best mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those things kind of go together. But moving and like, you know, like you said, with that general health panel, having the dentist on the panel, I think it definitely adds, you know, adds to it. Of course, I tried to get, you know, a couple other people. I really want to, hopefully next year I can get them. It's a cardiologist that I've been trying to get on the panel, and because I think that would be, of course, a great addition. For the mental health panel, you know what I want to say about the mental health panel?
What's that?
I feel like it was a perfect mix between knowledge and faith, right?
Yeah.
This year, this particular panel, because it's, you know, different participants. I don't think I had anybody. Maybe I don't think I had anybody that was on the panel before. Not Ephraim. Ephraim was on the middle. He usually is on there. But it was a very, for me, well balanced between, like I said, knowledge and faith, because it kind of goes together, right? Mental, right? Mind, body, spirit,
Yeah.
right? And like you said, it was really nice the way that people did open up about some of the things that they may had gone through and experienced. And one of the things that I loved that someone said, she said, I always show up, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm okay. And she said, one person, and this was after her husband had passed, and she said, once she said that to one person, and that one person said, no, you're not okay. And she said she was able just to kind of like, open up. And and I wanna encourage, people to, if you're not okay, it's okay not to say okay. Like,
Right.
and when on Saturday, like you said, there was many obstacles. And at first, when people say, hey, how you doing? I was not saying, hey, I'm good. I was like, eh.
Yeah.
It is no need for me to fake it. It is no need for me to fake it. I am here doing what I am called to do.
Right.
That has, whatever things that I have going on that are throwing me off, don't worry. It'll pass. It'll pass.
And
And
it
as you
will.
see, like you said, yeah, I started off, but by the end of it, we was dancing. You know what I mean? So not a big deal. That's with the mental health panel. Like you said, I think that the biggest takeaways from that was to make sure that you have your own private rituals or things that you do, as if it's taking a bath, if it's meditating, if it's praying, a prayer group, a prayer circle, whatever it is that you need to be able to maintain your mental health. Preserve that. One of the things that I started it last year, and man, I'm about to be real hardcore with it this year, is I really cut off my accessibility to people. During certain times or so forth, whatever, if I'm doing something, this is what I'm doing. This is where my attention is focused. This is what it is. If I've decided that, because in my business, like you said, like I mentioned other day, I'm a cheap psychiatrist. Really, I take in
Yeah.
a lot of people's stuff. And, with that being said, I have to make sure that I recharge. So I realized I wasn't doing that as much as I needed to. So I started, like I said, just kind of shutting down, like, yeah, I'm done for the day. Sorry, shop closed. No conversations past this point. And that has helped me because it's easier for me to just kind of keep it moving. Now I have to adjust these practices here recently, but I'll adjust them and it'll be fine. Mental health, like you said, is one of the things that cannot be ignored. We need to make sure we all do our part to do your part to be the best that you possibly can be. Moving on to our fitness and nutrition panel. We had a registered dietitian on there, a menopause coach, and then a fitness instructor and just educator. So we spoke about, everybody wants to know, what can you eat, what can't you eat, and these different things, and one of the one of the takeaways that I want to make sure that the audience heard was, if you are snacking at night,
Yes.
right? This was one that, like I said, and I think it, and it, one of my old clients or so forth, whatever, that has always been his thing. And but what they said was, if you're snacking at night, it's probably because you have not ate enough during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things we always talk about is, we want to make sure that, we eat balanced, right?
Right.
However, you can eat balanced, but you still need to make sure that you're getting in enough food that is holding you. So that way, come nighttime or whatever, you've ate. You're good. You're good. You don't need to eat. You don't need to snack. So if you find yourself eating, snacking at night, look at what you're eating during the day. You're probably not eating enough. You may say your schedule doesn't allot for it, to cook and so forth, which that was a conversations as well, right?
Right.
And even the factor meals were brought up, the ordering meals and so forth. And the thing about that is, if that is what works for you, fine. Still, you need to flip over labels. I'm a big fan is, if it has a label on it, it needs to be flipped over.
That's right.
It needs to be flipped over. I mean, like you said, if you go to the grocery store, and God help us, I hope it's still going to be safe for our fruits and vegetables and meat now. But well, as safe as it has been. But anyways, if if it has a label on it, if it's on the shelf, we really need to be flipping it over. You need to try, if you can, eat fresh. Eat fresh. Get the big thing of spring mix. You can eat off of that all week long.
Right.
All week long. Make you a pot of greens and eat off of it all week long. Whatever it is, the thing that my point is, make sure that you're getting in foods that help you, and have it readily available.
Yeah.
If it is, like you said, now back to the factor, if it is one of those type of meal prep meals or something like that, still flip over the label. Make sure that you know how much fat is in there. And my golden rule is, if half of the calories come from fat, that is a definitely no. That is a definite no. You do not want it. You do not want it. One of the things that they spoke about, which, I mean, of course, I know, but carbs, and they spoke about sugar, and they were like, and people don't understand that sugar is in everything, which, I mean, of course, the Wanna Go Fit family should know, because I tell you all the time, sugar is in everything, and rice and potatoes and fruit and vegetables and everything. Sugar is in everything. So you need to make sure that the type of sugar that you are getting in is good sugar. That means that
what is good sugar?
Good sugar is fresh. Eat fresh. So your fresh fruit, that is natural sugar. If you're looking towards like breads and things of that nature, then go towards a healthier grain. Because sugar's in bread, right? So we don't want white bread or, oh man, those delicious Hawaiian rolls. Man, I have those like once a year. Oh, they're fabulous. But you shouldn't be eating those all the time. You know what I mean? You need to. My favorite bread. Everybody knows what kind of bread I have, because if you've come here, I show you. I'm like, this is what. But choose a better option. So instead of having a dessert of maybe cake, cut up some fresh fruit, maybe, do, if you want to do a little granola or something on top. Or
Yeah.
like, remember the parfaits from the event?
I was going to mention that.
Weren't they straight
Oh
slamming?
man,
Oh
that was
my goodness.
crazy.
Delicious. Shout out to Chef Amanda Marie. Delicious. But yeah, so you can do things like that. Like you said, natural sugars, things that are natural, that have the least amount of ingredients, usually. That's what it is. If you look for, if you have a choice between a white potato and a sweet potato, we're going to do a sweet potato, right? Kind of no brainer. If we're going to do rice, you say, okay, well, instead of white rice, maybe we'll do brown rice. Maybe you'll kick it up a notch and do some quinoa or some couscous. Nice, right? But that's the whole thing, is just choosing foods that are lower on the glycemic index, right? Less sugar, meaning less sugar. But those parfaits were so good.
I know. I want to go back about the sugar. One thing that I read about and been hearing about for years is this corn syrup. They are saying avoid that. It's almost like it's an addiction and stuff. So what is your take on corn syrup?
I agree, because all of that is what is it? Fructose, all of that stuff. All of it is just added sugar. So when you look at a label, and if you have if you look at the sugar, and it'll say maybe 10 grams of sugar, and then it'll say 15 added grams of sugar. That's where that's coming from that corn syrup, from fructose and so forth. That's where it's coming from. We don't need it. We don't need it. You made a comment when you had went to, I forget where you went on vacation, and you said, man, I came back, I lost weight. But it was because, but you were eating fresher, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was doing, because they had fresh fruit there. I'm going to tell you something. I've never really had grilled pineapple the way they did it. I fell in love with their grilled pineapple. I thought pineapple was just supposed to be cold and eaten like that. Oh man, they put that on the fire. Man, I was just getting me plates of that because it was so
My son actually is I remember the first time he did it, and I was like, what's he doing? And he put it on. I was like, oh my. So if I eat, I don't eat a lot of pineapple because it has a little too much acid for me. But if I have it, it's like that if he does it.
Yeah. But I tell you what, when it's on the grill, it takes some of that sweetness away.
It does.
And I love it. And one thing I love on the grill, anybody would tell you, I love grilled asparagus.
That's delicious too.
And that's what I had out there too. Hey, I was amazed that normally you go on vacation, you pick up weight. I lost 10 pounds being on vacation.
Eating fresh, protein and veggies. One of the things that we spoke about at the event is more protein. People really need to pay attention to the amount of protein that they take in. Protein is the factor, right, that's going to help you stay full, help you build muscle, right? You need protein. And a lot of times, most times, we're getting processed whatever. You know what I'm saying? Processed whatever. You're not paying attention to it. So you're getting a burger or chicken sandwich or whatever. Where when you went on vacation, you were having fresh vegetables, fresh protein, right? Grilled protein, this and that, or so forth, which the food was delicious. And like you said, you lost weight, but the food was still delicious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was still delicious. One of the things we also talked about at the event on that fitness and nutrition panel was weights and over women over 40, over 50, and up. And not just women. We just, and I mean, in general, as you get older, you need to make sure that you are lifting those weights. You need to be able to support the skeletal structure. That's what the muscles do. So, I mean, you don't have nobody saying that you need to be out here lifting every weight in the gym. However, no, if you are aiming for a healthy lifestyle, some weight training should be included in that. And that we touched on that, like I said, at the event, which I'm glad that was touched on too.
Well, you see where I was bringing in my equipment, and that stuff is not light, but I learned how to work smarter, not harder. Because people watch me with the speakers, and I put on, you gonna pick that speaker up and put on top of that? I said, oh no. I said, I'm laying the speaker stand down, slide the speaker in, using the weight of the speaker to pick up, and like that. He said, I never would have thought of that. I said, hey, I learned that years ago. Don't fight with it.
Yeah,
But
I know that's right.
yeah,
I
because
know that's right.
I'm always lifting weights. Like, for instance, I rearranged the office the other day. I got rid of some stuff in here and I rearranged it. It looks beautiful now. So the first thing my wife come in and said, oh, office look good. So when you gonna do the garage? I said, I wasn't talking about the garage.
Look, Ron, I'm up here like, ooh, man, my office sure could use a little.
Oh, that what you was doing, that side-eye look, huh? Hey, come and knock this out for me.
Just saying. As Ron, and I don't know why that is always so difficult for me. My office is always a hot mess. I don't know. I cannot figure it out to save my life, but it is an ongoing issue.
And then you clean it, it looks fine. And then you put 2 or 3 things out of place. You say, I'll get to that later. And you put some more stuff on there. You look at it, say, oh my God.
Man, and it is definitely at oh my God right now. Jeez. But anyways, but yes, so like you said, lifting weights. I'm glad that we touched on that. I'm glad that we had the conversation about the Ozempic. It's always something, and just the AIDS. I don't know if you remember, Coach G, she said that she had a client and a family member that got that gastric bypass at the same time.
Yes.
And she said her client looks great. Family member, back in it, looks the same. And so with that, like you said, hoping that, it's understood that no, you do have to make these changes that you can live with. It cannot be anything temporary. And those things are meant to be a tool, not a automatic fix.
Right.
What are you learning? That was one of the things that was constantly brought up. What are you learning? Are you learning to take things away from your diet and then, just next thing you know, you'll get to your goal and then put them back in there because you took out everything that you liked out of your diet, I mean, that's not reasonable. That's not reasonable. So I'm glad that, like you said, just there were some good questions that were asked, for each panel. And then even our financial literacy panel actually ended up being a Q&A for a couple different things.
Right.
One of them we had, talking about just making sure that you plan accordingly. Right. That's one of the reasons why financial literacy was added onto the Get Fit Wellness Fair, was because we don't plan, when, like you said, like you plan your lunch, you plan to, plan out your week, you plan your weekend, but do you plan for if something happens,
Right.
right? It's not something that you necessarily want to think about. However, it's two things you can count on, right? Well, what did he say? Uh, death and taxes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the taxes anymore. I don't know what's happening with that. That's
Yeah.
why I said I don't know, but
Death and taxes is definitely at the top of the list.
but you can, like you said, so knowing that what to do and just some, like you said, some different options is important, especially like you said right now. And then we also ended up kind of having a tax Q&A, right? Nicole Johns, she was there to answer some questions, that some people may have had, starting up business startups. We had the Sam Austin group there. He does help with business startups, trademarks, that type of thing, LLC. So, I mean, it all in all, I think it turned out well. It was some great information shared,
Yes, it
and
was.
like you said, it was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, you tackled gamut from one end to the other. Started off with the nurse and stuff up there, ended up talking about taxes. We covered everything in that span right there. And
Mhm,
and taxes
mhm,
at the end was pretty interesting too.
mhm.
So it wasn't a subject that we did not tackle that need to have something said on it.
Well, I mean, like you said, there's plenty of things we didn't cover, but that just depends on what questions are asked, which is why, when I am soliciting for panelists, one of the top questions that I get is, well, what are the questions going to be? And my response is, it is participant led. So I and I am not a Googler. I do not like going on WebMD and saying this is that and that.
Mhm.
I like going to the source. That is the purpose of these events. To be able to go to the source and ask your question, or at least get the correct resource that can hopefully answer your question.
And can I say this? That's the reason why you have 4 or 5 panelists up there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's gonna know the answer to what question is asked, because you can't tell the audience ask this question, because that's not a question they want to ask. They want to know something else. But when you
Mm-hmm.
have your 4 or 5 panelists there, that's the whole idea. You got professionals up there. You got people
Mm-hmm.
out there asking questions. One of the 5 gonna have the answer, or like you said, could lead you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My goal is usually to have 6. So that's usually what I shoot for. I shoot for 6 panelists. Like you said, sometimes, like in this past weekend, not everybody shows up. Sometimes, things come up and they can't make it. Or, I'm just not able to get schedules to align, because that was a lot. There was, like you said, there was quite a few people that I know would have added to the conversation. However, their schedules didn't align up. But I've already lined them up for uh, for the November event. These were my mental health people.
Okay.
They didn't. And then I've already lined up a family practitioner for next year for our Get Fit Wellness Fair. So, I'm working on it, people. I am working to bring you the information, my people. That is what I am doing. I'm out here. I'm out here.
So let me ask you something. What's your next event? When is that?
Well, the next event is the Fitness and Nutrition Expo. Hopefully, it will be in the first weekend of June. Looking at a location, hoping that will pan out.
Yeah, I just shot
Uh,
you the address.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, yes, the next event is the Fitness and Nutrition Expo. Already have some panelists and things lined up for it. Like you said, and I want you to. I don't know if you noticed, Ron, like and if you ever gone to some events and you go and you'll see, and this is no diss, you know, but you'll see like Mary Kay or and jewelry people or whatever. You don't really see that at my event.
No.
What I bring you now, I did. Oh, Phoenix. She has waist beads. Otherwise, I only allow vendors that are there or resources that are there that can help in that fitness and wellness or whatever arena. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I say that to say I really put thought into putting it together because I want, I want you to be like if one of our speakers, and she was also a vendor, was tax lady, like you
Yeah.
said. So she would have been set up or so forth. And, again, even the young lady that had the waist piece, but she has herbs, she has raw shea butter, she has um, 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 oils and things. Again, I really tried. We had the sea moss. Man, I gotta take my sea moss. I'm on day 2. If y'all missed the Juice and Queen, she was there. I got me some sea moss. Man, I am hoping that it will kick in by the end of the week because I am tired of all this naughtiness. I am
Oh yeah.
over it. I am over it. So this is day 2. I'm taking my tablespoon of sea moss daily so that I can clear up the guck that I currently have going on. And like you said, just but she was one of the vendors again of at the event, a natural, like you said, a natural cold pressed juice vendor and sea moss. So as I mentioned, I do try and bring you vendors and resources that are helpful to you. We want a big shout out to our military association, Black women here in San
Yes.
Antonio. They came and set up and did the Black History survey. Remember
Yeah,
they did
sure did.
that, right? So I mean, honestly, you're right. Now I think about it because I forgot that they did that. We did. We had everything covered, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Shoot.
See? See?
Huh. Look, so one of the girls said, she said, it's a full free. I said, what? See, yeah, girl, I can't be here all day and don't feed you. No, no. Even and even last Friday, and again, just shout out to everybody who has supported me. Earl Stardemeyer from Ken's Five, he came and did a segment for the wellness fair. So I appreciate that, and from that one or two of the people, I think she said, I saw you on TV, so I came down and she came down to try out the sea moss. So, because I had mentioned it again, I was going to have them there. So I just really want to thank everybody that that supports and continues to support because, it takes a village, right?
That's right.
It takes a village. But yes, yes. So it was good. It was, I feel like all boxes were checked.
Yep. And those you don't know, I told Coach K, I'm helping her out and doing things they do. I told her point blank, you stuck with me. I told her that you stuck with me. I said, you had something going on, I'm there. Just call me and I'm there.
All right. Well, look, we about to do it. Like you said, we're going to have our next event. It's going to be fitness and nutrition. Like you said, all of the things. So, and that fitness and nutrition expo, that is where, I want to bring you different fitness formats, fitness classes and things, nutrition. Now, one of the things that we spoke about, and this past event on our fitness and nutrition panel was, I asked the crowd, remember Ron, I asked the crowd, I said, what are macros?
Yeah.
Crickets. And so we spoke about that, broke down what the macro nutrition was. Do you remember what they were, Ron?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't. But once you start talking, it'll come back to me.
I know, right. It usually does. It usually does. But that was, like you said, so that is one of the things that we mentioned, because carbohydrates is actually, when speaking of macros, is the biggest macro group, because you get more energy from your carbs. That is why it is important to choose the right carbs, right? But your carbohydrates, right? Protein, grains, right? Got to make sure we get them all in. Fruits and vegetables, definitely, like you said, fall into our carbohydrate category. So you want to make sure that you get the right fruits and vegetables. Banana, apple, hey, get it? So just paying attention to things like that. That's things that we will explore in the Fitness and Nutrition Expo. There we talk about more of your body when you exercise, different ways to, rehab and things of that nature. This is where we talk about like your weight loss, aids, as far as like, the Ozempic and the bariatric surgeries and things. So yeah, that's the goal. The goal is to just bring the information to the people, be able to ask your questions. So this one is more interactive because there are actual classes that go on and demonstrations.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Come look, this one or so forth. Now, y'all know, I don't know if y'all was there. However, if you've paid attention, I'm usually showing up in my want to go fit stuff. And then last year for the brain health fair, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to be moderator-ish. Look the part. So I said, all right, no problem. I went on ahead, got me a cute pair of shoes to rock them. And I liked it so much, I did it again this year. My shoes were fly, honey. Yes, they were. But we won't be dressed like that for the Fitness and Nutrition Expo. We're going to be in Coach K gear. Yeah.
Hey, Coach K. Walk around those stilettos and stuff on.
No stilettos. No stilettos. So for the Fitness and Nutrition Expo, come dressed with your workout gear so that way you can participate in some of the different demonstrations that are going on.
Right, man, we've covered a lot, and still more to come.
Still more to come, because remember, these are annual events. So we already know after that is the brain health fair in November.
That's right.
Got to keep it going.
Yep. Well, all right, young lady. Boy, that hour sure did go by fast. Man.
It did. That's how I felt like the event went on Saturday. It went so fast. I'm like, man.
It sure did. It went by super fast.
Well, when you have good information, that's just what it is. As you're putting it out, time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly. I feel you on that one. All right, young lady.
Week after next.
That's it. We still gonna meet today?
Yep, we are.
All right.
We're checking it out. Like you said, we're going to get this thing. We got to get the people the information. We don't have time to let grass grow under our feet.
Okay. All right, then. I'll see you in a little bit. You take care.
All right. My people, like I said, look on the Wanna Go Fit event page. Let's say maybe I'm hoping that he can get it to me by the end of the week, if not next week. And the footage and photos and everything from this past event will be loaded on the website. So Thank you once again, everybody, for your participation, for your attendance, and for your sponsorship. Love you all. Thanks.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Have a good day, guys.
All right, you too. Okay, bye. Thank you for tuning in to WSAN Radio. Catch us on our YouTube channel, WSAN Radio SA. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button.